Welcome to the Notorious Scoundrels, a Star Wars Legion podcast bringing you the latest news, general perspective, and competitive discussion.
Hello and welcome to the Notorious Scoundrels podcast. I'm Kyle. I'm here with Jay and Timbo. What's up, gentlemen?
Timbo.
I got to start figuring out a different way to introduce you and other Tim. So
Again, every time I listen and it's not me who recorded, I'm here and Tim, and I have an existential crisis about not remembering doing something.
I'm here with Jay and Tim. Wait, what's that? I don't remember this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every time.
I think we should just get another Tim for the rotation, and then
We should.
only
And
Tims.
Then we could even do a pre-recorded thing where it's and we got Kyle, Jay, and Tim. And every time it's a different Tim, but it still works.
Yeah, we'll just cut the front off, put that in, and less work for us. I don't have to remember anybody's names. Real easy.
There you go. Yeah. Super easy.
I mean, before too long, we'll just have AI podcasts, so it'll be fine.
Dude, I'm doing it. I talked about this on. So for those of you who don't know, we have a Patreon. I'm sure you know that, but we have an After Dark podcast, a whole podcast. I was on with AJST Andy, and I was on with Lucas, and we literally had a 2.5 hour podcast, and an hour and a half of it was us talking about AI. And I was going, I think there's enough audio of me from over the last 5 years that I could feed a bunch of information into an AI system, all the podcasts. And I mean, it's a little dark, but I was saying I could almost live forever through a computer system, right? And my kids could call or text a system, and it would respond as me. I thought I
have an audio response of you.
That's all I could. Yeah, I was just planning this out while we were on the After Dark podcast. So if you want to hear more than just Legion, our After Dark podcast generally, especially now that I've had all the international boys on, it's been about I think AJ and I spent probably 20 minutes on the last one talking about British sayings and American sayings that don't,
That sounds very entertaining, actually.
Yeah. And then where they come from and all that stuff. So yeah, if you want to hear it.
Just being Canadian. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Combination of British and American. Yeah.
Yep. Just a permanent identity crisis.
Yep.
But yeah, no, we actually, I brought up loonies and toonies. That was a fun learning experience when I went to Canada. So yeah.
My experience with Canada is fishing and beer. And I remember the first time that I was of drinking age going to Canada.
You went to heaven.
Yeah, actually, my dad had been doing this fishing trip with his brothers for probably a decade, and finally he's like, you know what? I'm gonna take you and your brother, and we're gonna go on a fishing trip for a week. We're gonna just go to Canada and drink beer and fish. I'm like, all right, sounds great. That's what we did. But we went and we got beer at the aptly named The Beer Store.
Oh, yep.
We're like, where do we get beer? We're like, I don't know. We're driving around. We're like, oh, there it is. The Beer Store. That's literally what it's called. Big sign to The Beer Store.
Yep.
It's all right. That makes sense.
You want pizza? You go to Pizza. It's all easy up there.
Yep. Beer Store.
Yeah. The one you mentioned, loonies and toonies, the one knowing quarters, American and Canadian quarters are very similar.
Yeah.
And in Canada, no one cares if you pay American quarters because they're worth a bit more. But then you go to the States, and if your pockets mix, then they're like, oh, this is Canadian. We don't take that.
Yep. So when I was young in high school, I worked at Burger King, and it's right on the highway, and we're 45 minutes from the border, maybe a little bit more. So it's a big tourist Burger King. Bring the bus. You get off, all the people get off the bus and order food. And I remember I would have to do that.
Sorry, people travel on a bus to go to Burger King?
No, they travel on. So they come down. We in Syracuse, there's this big shopping mall that was going to be the next Mall of America. You've been there.
I've been there. Yeah.
It was going to be the next Mall of America back in the day. That never happened, but it got a lot of stores. So a lot of people from Canada used to travel down to that mall because they don't have that kind of shopping, and we were kind of the food stop before they kept going up to the border. And so no, they didn't just travel to go to Burger King. But they would stop, and we would always have to like pick out, because we couldn't accept Canadian currency. So I'd always like pick out the quarters and the pennies and whatever else looked similar and be like, yeah, sorry, I can't take this.
We don't have pennies anymore.
Yeah, nice.
No, that's a big step.
Yeah, we need to get rid of ours. So
yeah, it's silly that we have pennies.
It makes no sense. Nothing.
Yeah, my kids love them because it's like money and they have no concept of the value. But so occasionally I'll try and like just throw out a penny or something and be like, Daddy, what are you doing? That's money. I'm like, it's 1 cent.
Yeah. Dude, it's going to cost me more to figure out what to do with this than what it's worth.
Yeah. Do you know how many of these you need to buy? Like a pack of gum? Like 500.
Dude, it's so ridiculous. Oh, I love that you put it that way. Yep. That's
If you pay yourself what you're worth, thinking about pennies is not worth it.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I think that'd be great to go with a sack of pennies into like a gas station or something and just buy like a candy bar.
And
Just
here
be
you
like,
go.
Yeah, here's 400 pennies. I'd like to buy the Snickers bar, please.
Dude. That's like the worst day of that like cashier's life. He's just like, I don't even know what to do with this right now.
I bet they would not do it. I bet they'd be like, I'm sorry, like you no.
I think it would really depend on the day and the disposition of the cashier, because there's definitely days when I was in jobs like that where I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm not even count it. Like, whatever, there you go.
Sounds good.
Here's your cheeseburger, dude. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh man. Anyway.
All right, well, I guess we got to talk about Legion today. We can't just talk about foreign currency.
The whole reason we're here.
I mean, it's our podcast. We could talk about whatever we want.
I guess that's true.
Literally, no one could stop us.
Well, we have an actual article on an Ewok unit.
Oh yeah, Ewoks. Can I say something? This is not about Legion, but kind of is. Okay.
Okay.
Have you noticed the unit card and this is such a okay, when I first noticed this, I wanted to make fun of them, but then I really thought about it and I was like, this is such a simple thing that actually brings like a little bit more like theme into the card, which is the artwork. So like in the bottom corner they added like a rock with some vines. Up by the picture they added some rope, like keeping things together up there. They changed behind the dice, they changed it to a wood color.
It's got some like wood paneling.
Yeah, and they like up in the upper left hand corner, instead of being like this really like sharp edged like affiliate icon, it's like this carved stone that's kind of misshapen and stuff. And I was just like, at first I was like, oh, they just plastered some graphics on top of the card, but I'm like, you know what, that's all you need. Like,
it's actually kind of neat.
Yeah, that's actually, and so I thought that was kind of cool and very like brings it thematically into focus, which I think is good.
I think it'd be neat if the factions all had like different themes on their cards like that. And I don't think it would be that hard because each faction definitely has a visual style to it.
Yeah.
And I maybe they're going in that direction. I think this is really cool what they've done with the Ewok cards. So
yeah, and like I was looking at they put out the World Open qualifier packs, and they have the full art of all the like Anakin and Palpatine and all them, and like all their faction symbols are all very like, they're circles and they're very nicely put there. But then you like look at the three Ewok ones that they put out, and it's just like this stone, like this jagged stone, and I'm like, dude, it's so good. It's like
pretty cool.
Yeah. Like that little stuff, right? It goes a long way to really make you feel good about things, Yeah. I'm really excited about Ewoks. Like, it's getting to a point where I think I may be too excited and it's going to just let me down. And not by anything that they did. Like, I don't mean this negatively. I just like anything, like when
you
you're
built up your expectations so much that
You're like super excited about Christmas because you think you're gonna get like the G.I. Joe spaceship, and then like Christmas comes and there's no spaceship, and you're like, yo, what? And you got like instead you got the Turtles van that shoots pizzas, and you're like, I mean, that's cool, but it's not the G.I. Joe spaceship,
That was way too specific an example.
Yeah.
Well, are we sensing some childhood?
For all the 40-year-olds out there, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because that was the decisions back then. Dude, they had a Turtles blimp that you would fill with helium and it would float and it like shot little pizza. Oh my god, dude. Toys, 80s and 90s toys were the best. Did we lose Kyle? Oh man, we did.
Oh,
can you guys still hear me?
There he is.
Hey,
yeah. Man, you guys froze. You were in like mid like.
Yeah, I think that means it's on you. Yeah.
Yep.
I would have literally talked about Ninja Turtles toys for like another 10 minutes to cover.
Mine,
no worries.
Mine was the Lego monorail set. It was like an actual like space monorail thing. Monorail. That another generation to do myself.
Yeah. Monorail.
Mono. It was a great video of somebody taking that monorail song from Simpsons and dubbing it over, doing like a remix of it with the monolith from 40K. And so the song was it's pretty awesome. Anyway, Ewoks. Do we need to do housekeeping today, or should we just dive directly into? Okay.
Actually, one thing.
Dive directly into it after 15 minutes.
Real quick. If you guys,
it's a high dive.
If you dislike anything that we say on this podcast, don't message us. Just keep it to yourselves, okay? Don't comment on the post. Don't. Nobody cares. Just keep it to yourselves. It's just you're wasting everybody's time. Go ahead, Kyle.
I want to know. All right. Yeah, this will be a bit of a lighter episode than last week. I don't think we have any controversial
and
forum rulings or anything today.
I'm feeling lighter this week.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Wicket.
Yo.
Did we ever talk? So we've actually known his unit card for a while. Have we talked about his unit card? I don't remember.
Oh.
If not, I guess we probably should to put his cards into context, right? His command cards.
We should just talk about him.
Rehash it.
I think. Yeah, because of the World's qualifier. But yeah, we'll just go over it quickly. I can do it.
Yeah, please.
This is Wicket. He's the hero of Bright Tree. He's got independent dodge 1, low profile and nimble, relentless, scout 1, scouting party 2 with other Bright Tree affiliates, sharpshooter 2, unhindered. He's 70 points. He's got 3 trainings. He can go in the Bright Trees or he can go in Rebels, it looks like. He is a commander. He's got the white D. He's got 5 health, 2 courage, surges to crits, surges on defense, 2 red, 1 black for pierce, 1 melee spear. He's got a range 1 to 2, 1 black sling with pierce 1 primitive. Whatever. We don't know what primitive is yet.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Oh, we do? What is
it's in the article.
Yeah,
I didn't read the article.
Primitive makes the weapon worse against armor.
Yeah, the short version. So we don't have the actual keyword text, but basically it says a crit converts to a hit when you are attacking something with the armor keyword.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that's just like 1 crit or if it's like all the crits. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the sort of the thing we don't know is like, I mean, for Wicked, it doesn't matter because he only has 1 die, but let's say you fire sport into him or potentially other weapons of primitive. Is it, 1 crit or is it all the crits?
I mean, okay. That makes sense. They got an ATST. I think it'll be fun.
I'm not so sure, but we can leave that discussion until we see the normal Ewoks weapons and stuff.
Yep.
And they have said in previews and stuff that they are sort of supposed to be bad against armor. So
yeah,
they have the logs.
Yeah. Which is only 1 use, but anyway, he seems like a strong unit for 70 points.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, his biggest downfall is, or not downfall, but downside is he's 5 health, Surge White save, so he can just die.
I mean,
He does have
sort of.
he has a lot of defensive keywords. The only thing I've noticed is that like they don't work so great in melee. Like if he ever gets into anything that's competent in melee, he just kind of dies.
Yeah.
Like IRG, Magna Guards, or a lightsaber will just kind of chop him in half, which probably makes sense.
Yeah. But he's got a pretty mean melee himself.
Yeah, he like if he can choose his melees right and like get into like, Joe Schmo core troopers, like yeah, he's all into them.
Yeah. Well, and I think if based on what I'm seeing, like we don't have all the information, but like the fact that they have their own special, like we're going to talk about in a second, their own special training card, like dodge tokens. It looks like dodge tokens galore. Like you're just going to be loaded up on dodge tokens. So
And he actually looks really quite durable. Give him situational awareness. He's got nimble and a free dodge every turn and low profile. Like,
Yeah.
I get the idea it's 5 health, but
so Tim was just saying melee was the thing he was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, also I play a lot of clones, and if a clone unit with a fire sport lines you up, like,
yeah, sure,
right,
yeah.
like
big dice pools, blast, stuff like that.
He has to play KG, right? Like he has a lot of like he's very resistant to like plink damage, but as long as he plays KG, he should be fine.
And to snipers, right? With the low profile, so that helps a lot. I mean that's a lot to get through. But you're right. I think you're gonna have to play him correctly in order to
like with low profile, and especially if you put situational on him, like you should be like negating 4 results before you're ever having to roll saves with him.
Yeah. Well, what you do is you just put that ATST up front, and you put this guy behind the ATST, right? And now you got heavy cover plus your low profile plus 2 dodges.
Well, you'd be out of line of sight.
Yeah, out of line of sight too. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that new change. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely ways to make him durable and survivable.
Yeah.
Just play style and blah blah blah.
Which I think is different from how they've because we have other 5 health white save commanders that don't have nearly as much tech to help keep them alive. So it's good to see. So the interesting thing I was looking at with the forest dwellers, so this is a new training slot that's for the I know everybody always corrects me in the comments. I keep saying the teardrop faction and they keep saying it's bright tree, Jay, it's bright. But the teardrops get forest dwellers. This unit gains Scout 1 at the start of the first activation phase. This unit gains a dodge token. So does that stack? So would Wicket get Scout 2 and Scouting Party 2?
Yep.
Yeah. That's how it works with Rex. So
dang. Yep.
Yeah, Scouting Party makes its triumphant return. And like we were saying before the cast started too, it's a little bit hard to judge Wicket without knowing, the rest of the Ewoks and like even their Force org chart and stuff. But like just like initial breath, like his unit card looks great, or at least fine, if not great. And he's cheap.
Question. If I have multiple forest dwellers, could I get it up to Scout 3? Because there's no unique in front of this unless another thing.
Can't put a same upgrade
on the same name. Yeah. On the same unit. Yep. Now if there's somehow another training upgrade that gives Scout, which currently we don't have.
Currently we don't have, no.
Then yes, you could do that potentially. He does not have a gear slot for recon intel. If he did, then you could do that.
Yeah.
Does the base unit, the Ewok? No, Ewoks, normally Ewoks don't have a gear slot either. Okay. Well, I guess that's good. This is an interesting card though, just generally. It's essentially recon intel with a free dodge for 1 more point. That seems like a pretty good deal to me.
Yeah.
Yep. Especially like it would get his nimble, so that's a recurring dodge for that turn.
Well, it seems, and I think it evens out because it's just the first activation. So.
Oh, if it was every turn, this would be silly.
Yeah. No, I think it's like, right. I just think it's good. It's the way they put this is it's it's reasonable. You're like, oh yeah, 3 points. That's fine. So that's good. All right. Timmy, you want to do some of these? You want to do,
Yeah, I can pull them up.
or I can if you don't have them up, pal.
I was just on exiting card.
But whenever you see the teardrop, you have to call it a teardrop, okay?
Sure. Yes, boss.
Yeah.
Want to start? We'll probably start at 3.
Yeah.
That's tradition. Courageous counterattack. This is a Wicket command card. Orders Wicket and 2 units. Quick thing about his unit card too, he does have independent dodge. So anytime you hear Wicket get an order, he doesn't have a way to throw that away.
Right.
So you are sacrificing a dodge for him for that.
Yeah, no authoritative, no slot for a comms relay or anything. Yeah.
So good, bad. He has an order, but no dodge. Anyway, so Wicket in 2 units. This round, teardrop troopers. With a face-up order token, change their courage value to dash. When teardrop trooper units that have a face-up order token forms attack pools this round, add 1 white attack die to the attack pool for every wound token or defeated miniature in the unit.
It's a lot of text. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. So they have infinite courage, like Vader.
Yeah.
And then when they have a face-up order token, when they form an attack pool, add 1 white die to the attack pool for every wound token or in that unit. I got it. So it's like a version of tenacity, kind of, but a little bit better. Yeah.
But also for ranged.
Yeah.
The dash value, interesting about that too, is it'll like strip all the suppression that is on them, right?
So technically, I don't think it does.
No, it does? Okay.
I think the wording says that they cannot gain suppression if they have a courage value of dash, not that they can't have suppression. But we have to check the CRB for the official ruling. That's my recollection, though.
You mean the forums, the rules forums, right?
Almost, Jay. We almost made it.
Sorry,
but even not gaining suppression is also good. Like it not only helps them with suppression this turn, but also for future turns, right?
Yeah.
So if it actually strips it, that'd be incredible too. But and then the attack die. I mean, especially for like just Wicket himself, have a couple of wounds on him. His like ranged attack actually becomes fairly threatening, and then his melee pool, like theoretically, could be up to 3 red, a black, and 4 white. Like with Pierce 1, that's a lightsaber. That's a pretty specific scenario that happens, but it's possible.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, the basic spear attack is pretty good just generally, and this makes it potentially quite a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, even with like if you put tenacity on him, even if he has 1 or 2 wounds, like 3 red, a black, and like 1 or 2 white is like that's a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
also not a bad like recover turn. So you're not dropping, you're not getting spammed out of recover because your courage is infinite. So you're just like, I'm good. I'm gonna keep going. Thanks. I'm gonna hold on to this box.
Yeah. It's both a good like.
Man, we lost Tim. Must be Zoom.
We did lose Tim.
I'm back.
And now he's
so,
back.
So here's an interesting. There's a couple interesting questions relative to this. The first is because it's only units while they have a face-up order token. So if in that situation, if you have a box and you play this on them, while they have that face-up, their courage is nil, right? So they wouldn't drop the box during their turn, but then you'd flip their order token face down, and they would presumably revert to their actual courage value on their unit card once that token is face down. And then if they were in a position where they were going to panic, that box they're holding would be worthless at the end of the round.
So they would have to go last.
They would even if they went last, they wouldn't help.
Oh, right.
Because you score at the end of the round, so you'd have to use it to actually take the recover action and strip their suppression.
Yeah.
Assuming I can't find it in the CRB. But assuming that my recollection is correct. No, I'm sure it's in there. I just can't.
No comment.
In the ROG, I would just scroll to the courage section.
Happy Jay,
which is in the C alphabetical.
This week is why aren't you using Legion Quick Guide?
I did use Legion Quick Guide. It's not in the Courage
Son
part of
of
Legion Quick Guide.
You should have
Because-
said, you're right. I didn't even use that, Jay. Not throw Legion Guide under the bus. Way to go.
Yeah, sorry. No, I mean, well, all Legion Quick Guide does is essentially copy the sections from the CRB and alphabetize them. So it is at least in the Courage section that is copied into Legion Quick Guide from the CRB. Does not appear to have something in there about Infinite Courage. So
Wow. Well, I'm sure that question's going to get asked. Hey, if
Oh,
anybody's
no doubt.
listening
Yeah.
and wants to put it into the forums right now, go
there
for
you
it.
go. Yeah.
In 2 months, when it's relevant, we'll have to dig through 30 posts to find out.
Anyway,
Let's do let's do the
I'm gonna do
number
the
2
next,
pip.
the next card.
All
two
right.
pip,
Yeah.
sneaky scouting, final iteration.
Mhm.
This orders only Wicket. Choose up to 2 enemy units at range 2 of Wicket. They each gain 2 observation tokens. When a friendly unit declares an attack against a unit that has observation tokens this round, they may spend an observation token on the enemy unit to gain surge to hit for that attack.
Okay.
Interesting. I mean, it seems like normal rookies don't surge hit, so this is probably
Yep.
a pretty significant offensive upgrade for their target.
And I mean,
Potentially.
You could also use this on this does not specify teardrop units. You could potentially use this on a Rebel Z6,
you could.
which could really benefit from surge hit.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So I don't know. It's
I mean,
interesting.
Rebels in general mostly surge. There's not too much
The
here helping.
Z6 is like the only example
yeah.
I can think of.
But like,
yeah.
so it'll probably either help like Ewok like offense or like snipers like observation tokens. Like if you are running Wicket in a like Rebel list of snipers, then Rebel snipers
They
would
already
love to
surged,
have.
though.
But you could spend the observation tokens normally
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah,
rerolls,
yeah.
right?
For aims, yeah.
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 Right, like 2 observation tokens on a Rebel sniper is basically 2 aims.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
White
what,
die, so
based on what I'm hearing, Kyle, and with a potential points update, Z6 resurgence into the meta.
I would love to see it, man. I have
Yeah.
6 Z6s.
Dude, same. Yep.
I
And
have-
7 children that are distracting him currently from the podcast. That's how this works. Yeah, dude, I have so many Z6. Yeah, I have the 6, you have 6 core units, each with a Z6. Oh, man.
I have a couple Z6s. I don't know if
Zeds.
those are-
Yep. Nice. Perfect. I don't know how I
Uh,
feel about that ZZ thing. I'm okay either way. I just don't know which one's better, It's interesting.
Cool. So
Alright.
we go to the 1 pip.
1 pip, yeah, go for it.
Close call.
Yep.
Orders Wicket again, just alone. At the start of the activation phase, Wicket gains 1 dodge token. This
Okay.
round, Wicket increases his maximum speed to 3 and gains
Oh.
outmaneuver. Great card, and then Wicket may not make attacks this round.
And there it goes.
This seems like very specifically like either A, run away with a box, or
Yep.
B, dive into the breakthrough zone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pure objective play.
Which is great. I mean,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah, I wish that the 1 and 2 pips were like switched. The pips on them, because like you'd probably be fine playing like this effect as a 2 pip or even a 3 pip, and then the other effects would more like on a 1 pip. But same
1
with me.
pip slot is also, it seems like super crowded for Ewoks.
Yeah,
Let me pull up Legion Legion HQ real quick to look at the
Oh yeah,
the other ones, but it's basically like there's the one that's like the combination of like pin down and something else, and then
okay, so it's funny, just a quick comment.
and then the ATST, the log trap one. Those are both 1 pips.
Oh yeah. God, they hate websites, I think. Like their blog posts, their whatever scene to stats things, it's just one long page. Like, so it's not
Yeah.
like you can like go like click and go to this article or this article. It's
It's difficult to navigate.
it's just like, well, we're just gonna add it onto this page we already got here. Why would we create multiple posts? It's
Well, Oh well.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. I'm not trying to be negative, everyone. It's literally something I just realized as I was like, oh, I'll just go look at the other article. And I was like, wait, it's just one long post. So, anyways.
Yeah. One other bonus command card you get with Wicket.
Bonus.
Bonus.
Yeah.
I gotta pull it up. There we are. So this is a Leia Organa card, a beautiful friendship. So this card orders Wicket and Leia. Permanent. Wicket gains teamwork Leia Organa.
Yep.
When a Teardrop commander issues orders, you may choose a friendly rebel unit at range 1 and issue an order. When a rebel commander issues an order, you may choose a friendly Teardrop unit at range 1 and issue an order. So bonus orders for rebels sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Teamwork Leia. So Leia gets
Teamwork Leia.
free dodges from Wicket's independent.
Yep.
And then you could potentially use take cover to like make 4 dodges, basically.
Yes.
I mean, Leia getting a free dodge like allows her to be way more offensive.
Yeah. And she actually has a decent attack profile.
Yes, as someone who's played a lot of Padme, that 3 black sharpshooter 2 is pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, this definitely brings Leia's value up. For sure.
100%.
Yep. I don't know if it brings her up 100% in value, but maybe like 30.
That's the amount that I agree with you, not the amount that it increases
I
the
was
value.
like, whoa, I was like, bold prediction, Kyle. 100% value increase. Good Lord.
No, I mean this is great, and I guess there was some debate, which I'm sure will be a forum ruling about whether this, because of how the text on this card is like physically arranged, whether the permanent applies to just the teamwork bit or whether it applies to the whole card. I think, I think that it applies to the whole card. Simply because the bottom text here would do literally nothing if it wasn't permanent. So
no, the bottom half would do something on the turn you play this card. Because Wicket and Leia.
No, but you're part about when a rebel commander issues orders.
Yeah. Yeah, the wording is very specific.
Yeah. So but I think based on the formatting, it's a little bit awkward how this is visually arranged, but if you literally just like take the text on the card, there's no lines here like there are on other like choice cards and there's currently, I don't think, any precedent for like part of a command card being permanent, but the other part not.
Yeah.
If you look at Anakin's cards, the whole thing is permanent. So I think that's the case here.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
One would hope.
It's neat. Sure. This seems great if you're running like, rebel units with your Ewoks or vice versa.
Yep.
I mean, and like the Leia Wicket combo before you start doing upgrades is only 150 points. Right? Like that's quite a bit of like both offensive potential and just like supportability for 150 points.
Yeah,
for sure.
The interesting thing will be that battle force, right? And does it include Luke and Leia and Han and anybody who is part of Endor? Though I think people are confused and need to go back and watch that movie again, because the last time I said Han, Luke, they were like, Luke wasn't there. I'm like, who do you think was riding the speeder bike around? Like, why do we forget about that part? He absolutely was there. He just wasn't there for the end part of the battle.
Look, if Operative Vader can be on Hoth,
with speeder bikes, then
Jedi Luke can be on the Endor Ewok battle force.
Yeah,
because he was actually there, unlike Operative Vader.
Yeah. But so it'll be interesting because I mean, here's the other part. Like, okay, I could definitely see Operative Luke in the battle force, right? If Leia gets put in the battle force, unless they magically make her an operative, you've got 4 potential commanders in that battle force, right? So you got Wicket, Lawgrave, C-3PO, and potentially Leia if she was going to be part of that battle force.
Han potentially too.
And Han potentially too, yeah. Like, so there's a lot that seems like too much. Unless
Well,
they increase the commander limit, they could do
like
that.
they could do the Shadow Collective thing of like 4
Yeah, 1 to 4
commander
commander/operators or whatever.
operators, yeah.
Imagine if they did 5. Oh god, that'd be so great. I would take all of them. And it wouldn't even be good, and I would just do it anyways.
One gripe I have with this card is it's a 2-pip, and Leia's best card is a 2-pip. Like,
Yep.
if you're taking Leia and Wicket, that 2-pip slot is going to be so full, and you have to make some tough choices.
Yep. Oh yeah. I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing.
It's fine, like whatever. It's just like
Choice is
late.
good.
Yeah, sure,
It lets you come up with different
but pure efficiency is better.
sometimes.
It's the same situation with like 501st, where if you just rearranged the pips a little bit,
Yeah.
if you just sort of set aside the like I want priority on X card, and that's why this card is good, and actually thought about the structure of the command hand,
Yeah.
like you'd want to rearrange the pips to actually make a better list. And I think that's probably true of this one too. Like,
Yeah.
if it was a 3-pip, would you go slower? Sure. But then you could actually like take it in your hand, because that's Leia's worst card.
And also, like, you're probably playing this card first round, right?
Right. Yeah.
So a 3-pip is actually preferable to a 2-pip in that case anyway.
Right.
Like, if it could be a like 5-pip, you'd take that.
Yeah.
But anyway. C'est la vie. I think that is all. That's all. We covered all the cards that came out in that article. So yay, go us.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm excited. I can't wait for them to come out.
Yep.
And see what else, the battle force. I mean, yeah, I think that's the hardest thing, right? Like, I don't know, people keep talking to us about adding these into the list builder, and we're like, okay, but we have no idea.
Right.
I mean, we could just put them in there, but we don't have any information other than that they exist at this point,
Yeah, there's no way to know how these fit into lists, or how you can actually make a list with them.
Right.
The only reason for them to be in the list builder is so that you can look at the cards.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can plug them into like Rebels right now.
I guess, but it's not even clear how that's going to work, because they're not conventional mercenaries.
Yeah, yes, they are.
Are
Because
they?
they're in the mercenary. Like, there's like the mercenary.
I know they got the little symbol back there.
But that symbol's in the like mercenary section, wherever that section is. I can't remember if it's in CRB or some other document, but it's like, because I remember, the first time I saw that section, I saw like the little, as we're calling it, the teardrop with like Bright Tree Village. And that was like first time, and I was like, I think we'd seen models by then, but that was the first like rules thing we saw about it. So at least in my mind, I could be wrong, but
So they work functionally like mercenaries.
they're the same.
Rebel
They are mercenaries, and they are Bright Tree Village mercenaries, and then they have the little rebel symbols. They could go into rebels.
Okay, so Bright Tree Village is their affiliation.
Yes.
And they are mercenaries.
Yes.
Got it.
As far as I know.
Okay. Cool.
So
well,
yeah.
Helps marginally.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I just want to see like a heavy weapon or two for the rebel, like the regular guys, because I want to at least try like like Wicket and like 2 Ewok units, just like as a like little strike force in my like regular rebel list.
All right,
like,
so
that sounds fun.
Here you go, Tim. They have the icon in the affiliations icon underneath mercenaries. Yeah, affiliation. So the Black Sun Pikes, Raiders, Rogues, Maul, Loyalists, Ewoks.
Yep, there we go. Is it called Ewoks in there?
Yeah, it's called Ewoks.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah.
That's good.
For those of you at home, it's on page 38 of the CRB.
Look at that. That's hilarious. They call it Ewoks in there though, because that could pose some word problems.
Do they actually say Bright Tree Village elsewhere?
Well, doesn't
No.
I just closed the.
It says under his name, but I don't know. I don't think it says it.
I think it just shows the symbol. Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah,
it should be fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
everything is fine.
Speaking of rebel lists, want to hear this like rebel list that I've been running that
Okay.
I've been having fun
Yeah,
with?
you had an actual store championship
We had a store
thingy, right?
championship,
Yeah.
and
What happened?
I have a world's invite. Yay!
Nice.
Good for you, pal.
First, are you the first Fifth Trooper member to get one?
I haven't heard
think
anyone
so.
else talk about it. Yep, I don't have them right beside me. I got cards. They look cool. That Boba card, despite the error, looks amazing.
Awesome.
Cool.
Did you get some fancy dice?
I did.
What do they look like? Because the pictures, it's really hard to tell like how they're actually different.
In person, it's a lot easier. Like they are like a different shade of red, and then they
Hmm.
are like they do have a marbling effect. Um,
Oh, that's nice.
Personally, I think I still prefer like the clear red ones. So like whatever, but they'll be in my thing.
Yeah.
I did end up giving away a bunch of my regular red dice at the end of the day because I'm like, okay, I now have way too many red dice.
Yeah, you say
I
that now until you like lose 3 or 4 at like a couple of tournaments, then you're like, yo, I don't got enough dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, I also am at least for like our local area, at Worlds, they like gave out like a whole bunch of the dice.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm the next tournament we run because I didn't want to like I'm trying to save my prizing because I don't have a ton of it and I'm a broke
Mhm.
college student, so I'm not buying anything. But for the next tournament we run, I'm gonna have a bunch of dice for everyone.
Nice.
But which means I still have like 30, 40 of those clear red dice at home right
Yeah.
now, so I'm good.
Cool.
That's a lot.
Anyway, yeah. Um, I wish they would make some black special
Yeah.
dice because like I've had to buy a dice pack to get more black dice.
Hmm. Yeah, and the special white dice are essentially impossible to read.
If you have the right dice tray, they work. Like if you have a light,
Even then, though, it's like still like it. Don't get me wrong, it helps,
yeah,
but they go from like completely unreadable to like you gotta squint, but then you can
yeah,
read them.
yeah. If I mean, I use mine in my dice tray because they're relatively readable, but I do keep regular white dice around because if I do have an opponent who goes like, "No, I want you to rule," like I can't see that, I'll be like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll use regular dice." So I might be a masochist that way, but whatever.
No, I get
Anyway,
it.
yeah, this rebel list. So I put it together for some random thing like a month and a half ago, and then I just am lazy, so it's never come out of my box. So here we are. It is 799 points, 10 activations. Rebel officer, improvised orders, and electro binocs. Starting out weird. Then we go Boba Fett, sees the initiative and his flame projector. Then we have Sabine Wren, sees initiative, grappling line, prepared supplies, and the dark saber. Clan Wren, Ursa, Tristan, situational awareness, transponder, jetpack, rockets. 2 vets with their gun, 2 Mark IIs, 1 sniper, and a fleet trooper with a medic.
Hmm.
And it's a lot of fun.
It's pretty good. How many activations is that?
10.
10. Okay.
Yep. I know I've really been liking it. I I both like Sabine and Boba, and turns out like what pips of cards I want to take kind of mesh with each other pretty well. Because like Sabine, you know always take her 1 pip, and her 2 pip. I mean, I like it. It's fine. It's a good get out of dodge, like recover her whatever card. And then her 3 pip is kind of droppable, right? So then you just take Boba's 2 3 pips. I take making his way to the Galaxy because Rebel Boba really likes it for his if he needs to get in there card. And then Whipcord launcher and explosions. So they were
Nice.
pretty yeah. They were like I sort of threw this together as a like, sure, whatever, see how it goes. And I've actually kind of really liked it. So it's been fun.
That's yeah.
I also the last game I played, which was like the final game, it was intercept, and on turn 6 I had 2 different because I played whipcord, and then also Sabine also used her whipcord, so I had 2 different units whipcorded outside of scoring range, and it was
That's pretty gross.
yeah. Um, like it is a solid way to like deal or like melee units or whatever. Just like, yep, I have like in one turn I can record 2 things, but then also like, if Bobo whipcord something, well then like Sabine can just like get to range 1 of that and then just like keep whipcording them and hold them there. So yep, it's great times. Not for my opponent, but it's a lot of fun. So yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh, and then we were also going to mention Yavin base is happening.
Oh yeah, Team League started.
Yep.
Oh, you did?
It's like solidly started because we just finished round 2. Anakin's daycare service is 2-0. Go us.
Nice.
We
Is that
don't
like the Canadian team? Or are you just a
No,
smorgasbord?
it is just a random assortment of people. It
Okay.
is a team that but before I was good, I just joined randomly and then it's a fun time. But we don't just take care of the men, but the women and children too. Um, we're a great daycare service.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, Anakin's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh. I gotcha.
And then the upper league just finished their first round. So I don't
Nice.
have any stats or figures beyond my
Okay.
own team, but
Yeah.
it's happening. The child, like if you want to see the matchup and stuff, that's in the Legion Discord. The challenge links are there. You can
Okay.
go look at all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
From that, I've been playing a bunch of Cody. He's a lot of fun. You gotta fire sport him, and then things die.
That seems to be like his primary function.
Yeah. I see a lot of people trying to like run him with a Jedi or run him like or like try to run him a lot like Rex, sort of be like offensive and like just shoot him alone. But how I've been playing and I've found success is like kind of run him a lot like Bosk. Right, you're sort of way back there, just bomb a shot in from range 3 or 4 every turn, and then try to have it fire sported every single time you shoot. Because if it is fire sported, like you kind of just point at a unit and they die. So yeah, which is like good, but not super fun.
It's definitely like if you want to run a clone fire support list, you
Yes.
run Cody, basically.
100%. Also what I've been doing is I have a bark, so I have like Cody, Clone Commander, bunch of clones, and then a single bark with a long range comm link and a sidecar. And because then I don't care where it goes. And because I have aggressive tactics on Cody, I give it a surge every turn. And then it's like surprisingly hard to kill. So like I've used it, like occasionally I keep it like in my clone ball basically. Use as like a secondary fire sport starter or just a like another core unit basically. It just like it has a good shot, like move, aim, shoot, or aim, shoot, move, blah blah blah. But other games it like does that for like round 1 and 2 and then like goes around the corner and then like comes around and it's like way off away from my line and just like opening a second flank but still getting an order every turn and still getting that surge. So that if the opponent, turns to shoot it, well, they're probably gonna waste like 3-4 shots at it that aren't going into my clone ball and the clone ball just rolls over them. So
Bugs with surge tokens are actually like very frustrating to kill.
yep. Very.
Like it's like this thing is a speeder. Like it shouldn't be like not dying when I shoot it repeatedly.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you can like make sure you're kiting any pierce they have. Because they do just like fall apart to pierce. But like
they do, yeah.
If you're able to like, if their pierce units like come forward to deal with your clone ball, if you can like get your bark around the back to like all the like random things in the back that don't have pierce, then you're golden. So yeah. And long range comlink is real good for it because then you don't have to care about positioning. I also did play a game with an ATRT because of Yavin based rules. Like every round, there's just like a unit that's banned in every faction. So one of the rounds was Spark Speeder. So I played it with our ATRT, and that was fine. Like I just sort of use it as a secondary fire sport starter. Put it like link targeting array on it, and then like would like aim shoot with a fire sport, and like that was good. But when you have Cody, like setting up multiple fire sports a turn is pretty hard. Like you're really just trying to set up like one good fire sport a turn and then like spend the rest of 2 and just like move shooting, aim shooting, blah blah blah. But yeah, if you want to get 2 fire sports off, like any of those search hit vehicles are good ways to start that.
Awesome. Well, I have no further thoughts on teardrops or random
Yeah.
rebel lists or forum rulings or anything.
So okay, so there are five unit cards, right? That we still haven't really fully seen. Or I guess we've seen
For Ewoks?
Yeah, so we've seen C3POs sort of, right?
Yeah, we've seen 3PO.
Okay,
we've
so
seen
four then.
We've seen the
we've seen
ATST.
Wicket, we've seen the ATST, and we've seen the basic.
We
what
saw
are they called? The
We saw
skirmishers.
the front. We did see the whole ATST.
We've seen the whole ATST.
Yeah, we've seen the whole ATST.
Oh, okay. So then it's just 2 then.
Well, it's
Logray,
And then
Log
whatever the
Gray.
second card
and
is
then
in the core
the
box.
yeah.
I guess maybe that's it.
Yeah. Well, and
I
then, and then any heavy weapons and stuff.
All the important stuff.
All the important
I just meant
We
unit
could
card.
try
I
it,
forgot. I
you know.
forgot that we saw the ATST on the. That's right, because it's got incognito.
Yeah, it's an incognito ATST with surge crit, basically,
yeah,
and a
that's
bunch
right.
of pre-printed weapons.
That's right. We went over it. I forgot about that.
I'm sure you guys talked about it while I was gone.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just every week. It's. I don't
Yeah,
this weekly podcast thing is finally catching up with you.
know.
I'm wearing my
took
my
5
Chewbacca
years.
shirt
Hey, nice.
for this. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, Tim. It took 5 years, but it's finally caught up to me where I'm going. I don't know anymore. Well, last week, Evan couldn't make the 5th Trooper, so literally, like, I did 5th Trooper podcast last week too. So I'm just like, and then there was somebody. I was like listening to the Legion 99 podcast, and somebody, I think it was that podcast where Nick brought up, like, where did Wicket get that dress for Leia? And then it was like, yeah, they were like eating people, like where'd that dress come from?
Oh, it's pretty clear that the Ewoks are
Yeah.
Not
Meat
nice.
eaters.
Yeah. Yeah, where did the stormtroopers go that those helmets belong to at the end?
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
they were literally going to eat Han and Luke. Like they had them on spits and they were putting them over fires.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't think much should be left. They don't leave much to the imagination there as to.
But for those
Their
of you
intentions.
who are still listening and want more Ewok content, and you haven't heard the 5th Trooper podcast, yeah, I put it for you. I put it out yesterday. Evan wasn't on, so I was on with Nick and Austin, and they do that glob shitto whatever thing. So Evan came on this cast and did it once. So I made a Ewok operative but based on this, like, one of those Random House books I had when I was a kid, like Nisa's Day Out or something.
Yeah.
And, Nisa's like one of the Ewoks, and she's like riding a log, and so I made my own operative character out of her. So anyways, if you want to hear something fun about Ewoks, that was a good podcast too. So
I just want to see heavy weapons.
Yeah, and the Battle Force rules.
I'm at this point, I'm like, I wish I know, we comment on all this. So unless I take the next 2 months off from the podcast, which I'm tempted, I'm going to be talking about this stuff, but I almost wish it's like when there's a movie I really want to see, I don't watch the trailer. I just like try to avoid any information about it. Just go to the movie to be surprised. I wish I could do that with the Ewoks. Like, I wish they just like showed up today, had no idea what was in them, and I could just like open it up and be surprised by all the new information. But
So some information is the worst information. Like if we didn't know anything about them, and they just all came out one day, it'd be fine. Or if we knew everything, I'd be happier. But this, like, we know some things, drives me nuts.
Yeah.
In the way that marketers try to, right? They're
right. I'd say this is a marketing tactic, right? Yeah.
Somebody is doing their job successfully.
This is not actually I'm driven nuts in a bad way. I'm driven nuts in the right way. But like, it is like, give me nothing or give me everything.
Yep.
Yeah. I get you.
Yep.
Personally, I like the way that GW does things on that front, where like you don't know the existence of something unless you're really good at parsing those rumor engine images.
Yeah.
Until like literally 2 weeks before you could buy it, basically.
Yep.
And then it's like, boom, new unit. Here it is. Here's all the things. Go to the store and pre-order it now. You know,
Yep.
and it's like, oh, I didn't even know that existed until this moment.
Yeah, and also like the rule books, it's like, okay, so you get like occasionally will preview like a rule or two, but like it doesn't really mean anything in like any context,
Yeah.
and they're usually more like flavorful rules anyway. But then like the day the book comes out, or like they preview it like a week
It's
or
like
two
a dump of
before,
everything.
you know the entire book, so you can judge it all at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And
Yeah. I do miss those.
Yeah,
I know some people hate all the stupid books, but I like having just like a hardcover thing that I can smell and flip through. And
that
love
was not the first thing I would have said, but sure. If that's just Kyle going around smelling books at his house, all right, man. Like
it's the new codex smell. That's like a thing.
I get what you were saying.
Yeah.
Not like my first reaction to the book, but
Okay,
but
that's
yeah,
fair.
one
Yeah.
of my reactions.
Look, Jay, it's not like I sit in my
my-
basement sniffing GW codexes.
Oh, I hope you come to Legion soon.
Actually, Jay, there was they for Karajan, which is sort of like dwarves that fly around in steampunk spaceships, not spaceships, airships. But they made this character that's like the Codemaster, and he's like kind of a like take on like like grubby players who like this is the rule, this is the rule.
Yeah.
So he's carrying around like a bookshelf of books on his back, and he can like change the like what rules you take with your army during the game. Nope, this is the rule. This is the rule.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I've seen this miniature actually, and he's actually like pointing to an open book off to the side. Yeah, he's literally a rules layer miniature. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yep. All right. Well, I think we've stretched this out long enough.
Yep.
All right. We are the Notorious Scoundrels. I'm Kyle.
I am Jay.
I'm Timbo.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Bye.
Whoa.